Alrighty, boys. So today, I get so many questions asked me all the time, DM'd, and that's exactly what I did with the last video. Last video was how do I race my 10-speed Mustang? Obviously, we all know it's an automatic. You just floor it. It's very common sense. That's the whole point of racing. You give it as much gas possible with enough traction to go A to B. Common sense, right? So now I got a bunch of other questions of, Jake, what have the mods that you put on your car, from the bumpers to the coolant tanks to LED lights, what has been the best overall? And that fell for an absolute good reason. What has been the best part and what has actually held up without breaking? And I'm going to go through and show you some of the stuff from the bumper to the intake, to the manifold, to the coolant tank. JLT's always been gas. JLT's always good. Their parts are super sound. Catch can, 5 out of 10, or 10 out of 10. 10 stars for the catch can. Even to the wheels, weld wheels, my BC Forge wheels, everyone actually, like, it's either that you love them or you hate them. Carbon fiber, or should I say charbon fiber, the fake carbon fiber, however that funny guy says it. Fake carbon fiber mirror caps that I actually truly like. And the only reason I actually like them, so, when you're driving, you put your hand out the window. This is like an added AC vent. This just throws air right into your face, and it feels so good when you drive. Just don't knock it until you try it. Get some. It curbs the air, no joke, I swear to God, right in just like that. Feels amazing when you're driving, obviously on the driver's side. Side marker light, tail lights, carbon fiber trunk, even exhaust, even the third brake blade. So there's a lot of stuff we got to go over, and whatever mod you guys want, let me know. I can tag it, everything in the description of today's video, from the trunk to exhaust, all the light parts, wheels, stuff like that, because this is obviously the stuff you guys would want to buy for your S550 or the S550 you might be looking at, and you kind of really don't know what to buy or what's good to get. All right, so let's start with these two parts right here. Raxium lighting, and these were actually the side markers. In the box, I have my OEM side markers, and I'll show you the ones exactly I have on the side so you can see. I went with the tint smoked kind of look LED side markers. The fitment, 10 out of 10, amazing quality. The LED-ness, like the brightness, I guess I said LED-ness. What an idiot. So you can see red, not super bright, not super like obnoxious. It's just perfect, super subtle. So this light has actually been perfect. I haven't had nothing wrong with either one of them working wise. But I must say, when we were taking the car all apart to get it wrapped, I went to go pop it out, and I believe it was the passenger side or the driver's side. I can't remember. It was one of the two. It practically disintegrated as soon as I popped it out, and like all of this, the plastic just started falling apart. So that was one thing that did happen, and the part at that time was only like a year old. So it was actually my second set of side markers. I guess we're going to start with all the stuff that broke, or I guess not really technically broke. I mean, yeah, I guess say broke or had a little issue with, I guess you could say. So now down to the Mishimoto coolant tank. The bottom nozzle right here, this little piece that I'm touching with my finger, that one. So that little attachment fitting piece, that had a major leaking problem. That is why we're back to the stock. I actually really like the Mishimoto one. I've always been a huge fan of them, and I even got it paint matched to match my intake. So I spent some money on this, and then it had a super bad coolant leak. And I'm probably not going to be able to use this again. So unfortunately, Mishimoto, this one is trash. I mean, it is fixable, but I mean, to me, I'm not going to use it. So I give this like a 7 out of 10. Still a good variant part. Build quality is good. I just had that issue, consistent issue with the bottom. Some people haven't had the issue, and I know some people have had the same exact issue as me, so I guess it's hit or miss. I thought maybe it was from powder coating it, but then I looked in the hole in there, and everything was perfect. There's no paint or nothing in there to mess up the seal, so this is just the fact that I guess this will have to get sold, or maybe someone else could fix it or do something better. But yeah, that's how I feel on the Mishimoto coolant tank. That is one of the parts. All right, so before this setup, I had the JLT intake, which JLT intake was phenomenal. Nothing ever broke on that. That thing was always perfect. I'm still rocking the JLT box with the funnel from the air all the way to this intake. So this is the new Whipple intake filter. And then everything's been pretty good. VMP monoblade's been stout. Cover jet, nothing actually really could go wrong with that. I mean, it's just plastic. It's a manifold. Unless you have like a nitrous backfire, if you're running nitrous, then yeah, you could destroy your manifold. Well, other than that, that's been pretty good. I give that 10 out of 10. Ford Performance racing struts, these are an actual pain in the ass to install. They were pretty good, but check out this hardware down here. This is the hardware it came with, and now it's super rusty. And you guys know this car is in the garage all the time, not out in the elements, and I don't know why. And my car is immaculately clean 24/7, so I don't know why. Maybe they just sent some cheap hardware. But give this another 7 out of 10. And everything, no matter what you do, out of every single hood strut I have seen, they've always turn down here and they scratch up the metal on both sides. I think this one I was able to get a little bit straight. You can see it's a little better than the other side, but this one's like super crooked. And you can see it's still starting to get like that nasty, rusty look to it, which I don't know why. Usually I take the hardware off, I'll repaint it, and then put it back on the car to even make it look just a little bit better. So, like I said, hood struts, 7 out of 10. All right, so before we finish the rest of the outside of the car, let's jump into the interior real quick. We got the Dyna steering wheel. Perfect, custom spec this. It was very expensive. It was like over $1,000 just for a steering wheel. Forged carbon, white stripe, obviously, white stitching, and I went with leather. Not a huge fan of Alcantara on the steering wheel, but I do like the leather a lot. So steering wheel, 10 out of 10. Over to the dash, and mind you, this is the same company that makes a steering wheel. Over to the dash. Dash was very, very poor. I'm giving this the 3 out of 10. In the beginning when I got it, it wasn't bad, but now after it's settled, it's been weathered. You can see right at the top, there's so many warps in this, and I know, I've taken a heat gun, I've heated it up, I laid it down so many times, guys, so many times, like, now it's not even like a rubber, it's like a rock, like, that's like a rock. It looks good in person, don't mind you, like, if you're just, like, not really looking at it, it looks good, but if you're, like, nitpicking it, yeah, it's pretty bad. The edges, the cuts on it were poor. Like in the beginning when I first got it, I couldn't even turn my radio knob. Like that's how bad poor the cuts were along the sides here, top and bottom, practically everywhere. The cuts were bad everywhere. I had to do so much trimming on everything. So even the paddle shifters they sent me, I was super stoked that Dyna reached out to me. They wanted to sponsor the car, so they sent me the full interior kit for the inside, and then the only thing I really paid for was the steering wheel. Obviously, like this stuff was from Amazon. This is not bad. This was from Amazon. I got carbon fiber, then I got forged carbon. My car's a little all over the place, and I got regular carbon there. You know, I like a little mix it up. So anyway, they sent me some forged carbon paddle shifters, and I actually took my whole steering wheel apart the night before Mustang Week, and they overnighted them to me. Bro, they put these on backwards, and I can show you exactly. There's an R right here. Literally, it says on there, if you guys can see. It says right side. There's an R right there for the right side. This is the left side. So when I took it all apart to go in, this is glued. So they glued it in backwards and on the opposite side. So super upset about these. These are still brand new, which would look, they would look perfect. They would look so sick with the steering wheel. And I wanted to use them so bad. I tried to reach out. They never reached back out to me. I was actually a little upset about that. I was kind of like, wow, really? But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for my interior. Oh yeah, also I forgot the lights, LED lights, also American Muscle. They're flawless. You can't really mess that up. But this was an absolute pain in the ass to install. I don't recommend doing that. Absolute pain. You probably break something 100% when you do this one. Even the mirror caps, 10 out of 10, quality, holding up great. And also, if I didn't mention this, the wind through here, absolutely amazing. When the windows are down, it feels freaking great. And on the rear end of Apollo. So you guys know we put the Anderson carbon fiber trunk on about a couple weeks ago now. It's been holding up amazing. We actually have an appointment at 8 Plus to get the full thing PP'd, and we're putting Apollo here. So I don't know how big we're going to do that. I'm going to let them decide. But let me know on the colors what you guys think. Should we do the green, white, and then, red, white, and green for the back? So let's say like Apollo like that, or just all white. So let me know what you guys think on that. So we got the Corsa, we got that rear middle light. I don't remember actually what it was, but this has been fine. The only problem with that was just the wiring. Wiring was an actual pain. Then over on the exhaust, Corsa Extreme Catback. We bought it used, but Corsa's always been great. You usually use your stock active, the valves, so that's not really going to be an issue. Their valves actually are really strong, so they've been holding up good. Euros, also got them from American Muscle. They've been fine, haven't had any issues with them. The only thing I really didn't like about the carbon fiber trunk was just how we had to do the wiring and stuff. It's not the cleanest, but it does the job. And then also for the camera, you guys see that right there? So I give this trunk, I want to say looks, aesthetics on the trunk is probably like a 10 out of 10. It looks so freaking... Look at my dog. Look, he's a snake. Yeah, I saw you, bro. Don't chew that shit up. Look at him look at him looking. That's what I gotta deal with. Evil ass meatball. Yeah, I'm talking to you, bro. As I was saying. Anderson trunk, aesthetics, looks, 10 out of 10. But the one thing I don't like is the camera. So the camera mounts, they have the factory like screw holes. It just screws right in. There's really no way to mess it up unless you put the camera in backwards. And then over to the camera, everything looks good. The hole was a little bigger on one side than the other, but when it's in the car and I put in reverse, it looks so crooked. I don't know why. I've tried to adjust it a million times, but I got it as close as I possibly can get it, and that's about that with that. So I'm going to give the trunk, let's say, a 7 out of 10, just because the rear camera and then that piece. But it is for lightweight mods to make it a little less weight in the rear, but, you know, that is what it is. All right, guys, let's talk about the bumper. 777 style, 3 sevens. Don't want to mess it up. I said it like 5 times already. 777 style front bumper. Yes. Quality is perfect. The bumper, the material, it's great. I actually want to work with this company. I've never even spoke to them or worked with them before, but I know I have some other friends that worked with the company before. I want to change this bumper to the other one that has the fogs in the middle, like the yellow ones. I do like that a lot. Kind of change it up a little bit because I'm kind of tired of this bumper. I've had to do so much stuff like to make it fit right, I guess, and sit back up perfect. I don't know if this one was just affected, because you can see when the car was white, I had the biggest gap under my headlight, and it was only this side. Even adjusting it, it wasn't able to get any better. So you can see, like, on this side, perfect, absolutely superb, perfect. And then back again over this side, gap is pretty big. Right there, you can see right down to the headlight. All right, so we practically hit everything in the front end. We got the bumper, we got the stuff in the engine bay, coolant tank, catch can, intake, Cobra Jet, weld wheels. You guys already know weld wheels are always stout. Actually, if you want to talk about something, I could put the link in the description. I got the paint from Amazon that I did the brake calipers with. Holding up fine. It all depends on how of a job, well of a job you did, but they've been holding up pretty good also. To the rest of the car, we did the mirrors, we did the interior. The wraps actually been holding up pretty good too. Also, you can see the color on the rear brakes. Also, black still holding up well. Rear welds holding up great. Mickey Thompson ET Street R's, phenomenal tire. Highly recommend them. Apollo really has been great. I've been contemplating, tossing around the idea of selling it. And as soon as I even mentioned that on Instagram, everyone was messaging me, how much do you want for the car? And if I would sell the car, I wouldn't sell it as is. I'd put it 100% back to stock, probably send it to auction, or even trade it in on the next vehicle I want. But I don't know. Like I said, I still want to get that 10-second pass with it. I still have the converter. I still have the axle, still have everything with it. But sometimes my brain got bad ADHD. That shit starts going. And then I'm like, I start looking at other cars, and then I'm like, oh shit, maybe I can get something else. Sometimes I just get bored and then my mind starts racing other things, but I got to try to stay on my game plan of getting exactly what I wanted with that Apollo, like I said I would. And then eventually, once the car's paid off, we do other more stuff with it, then we could probably turn it into a full race car. Maybe we'll get like a 3.8 liter Whipple, slap it on there, make this officially true race car, gut the car completely, full cage. We'll turn this motor to high heaven, head studded, do the full 9, all pump gears, crank sprocket. I'm going to try to do everything I can myself when it comes to mechanical stuff once we get down to the other state where I want to move, Florida. But yeah, this is Apollo as is. So if you guys have any questions about all the parts, intake, exhaust, all the lights and stuff, coolant tank. I know a lot of people run the Mishimoto also and haven't had issues with it. I mean, luck of the draw, I guess. But this is just my experience with all the aftermarket parts, because the aftermarket part world is huge. And a lot of you guys hit me up on the daily of what lights to buy, what to get for the interior, what for the steering wheel, like so much stuff. And I try to ask and I try to respond to everyone on what to get and what to do. So everything else has been pretty good. I also even forgot to mention about the rotors and pads. They've been good too. If you guys want, check the link in the description. I'll put everything as much as I can in there so you guys can check out the parts, even get the same stuff that I have on Apollo. There it is, every single part on Apollo. Gave it a score, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10. A lot of these parts have actually been holding up pretty good, and you know, not everything's gonna be perfect. We all know that. And every part that I said that wasn't the best, you know, I'm not trying to put the company down. Some things can be defected. I could have got a defective part. You could have got a defective part. Shit just happens. We know that. That's life. But thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. Make sure you guys hit up the link in the description, run up the merch. Also, a lot of you asked on Instagram, will I be attending Cruising Week at Ocean City, Maryland? Yes, I will be there. I'm not bringing a Mustang this year. No Apollo, no Zeus. Most likely next year, I will be in Yeti. I will be in my Raptor. So maybe I'll see y'all down there. Thank y'all again so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 100K, guys. We ain't playing no games no more. Let's try to ramp this shit up, take it to the moon. So thank y'all so much. Let's get it. Deuces.
Everybody waiting for the come up. I ain't sharing one thing. Yeah. I'ma keep on working till the sun up. Till I get my rollie and my chain. Yeah. Down in my life when I dropped out of class and fuck you to college, they scamming your ass and you don't even know what the fuck you there for. Government made you the puppet, you know. Ain't nobody gonna tell you. but the only ones that stay awoke. Yeah. Please wear your mask, that go save you. Stupid motherfucker, that's a joke. Yeah. Once he starts calling, the calling won't stop till my Lord Jesus Christ. We ain't praying enough.